Hey everyone, Teacher Claire here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. This video is for my fellow English teachers out there. I'm aware that a lot of you follow my content to help with your own English teaching. So today I wanted to share my top tips for one-on-one teaching, especially to beginners, because this can be the trickiest group to teach, especially if they are adults. Adult learners are different to teaching children because they're more likely to get in their own way or feel embarrassed or vulnerable when it comes to learning a new language. So it's important to take those types of things into account when one-on-one teaching. And before we dive in, I want to thank our sponsor for today's video, Twee, which is an amazing tool for English teachers that I will get into a little bit later on in this video. Let's go. English made easy with Claire. Okay, so my first tip for teaching one-on-one is to not only assess your students' level, but also their goals. Before you start any kind of English teaching, you need to ask your student why they are learning English. It's crucial to understand what your student hopes to achieve. Are they learning English for work, for travel, or for more personal reasons? You may already have all your materials that you need to teach grammar and things like that, but you may want to base your learning exercises or the homework that you give your students on their specific interests in learning English. Maybe that's exploring the vocabulary in their work industry, or choosing an article for a reading exercise, or a YouTube video for a listening exercise that aligns with that student's interests. That way, it's relevant to them and their goals. My next tip is to minimize your talk time. It can be really tempting, especially if you have a beginner student, to talk the majority of the time during the lesson, because that student may be hesitant or self-conscious when it comes to speaking. But resist the urge to give them too much information at once. Try to speak only when necessary and use simple and relevant language. This may mean that you'll need to endure some long silences while they gather their thoughts or look up a word that they don't know, and that's completely fine. So just remember, when it comes to you talking, less is more. Now, I already mentioned to choose topics that are relevant to your student to come up with your lesson plan content. And in today's world, as an English teacher, you need to be using the technology to your advantage. And I am super excited to have partnered with Twee, an AI-powered tool specifically designed for English teachers. And I'm going to take you through some of their features now. And you don't want to miss this part of the video because it's going to save you so much time when lesson planning and coming up with exercises and content for your one-on-one students. Okay, so here we are on twee.com. And as you can see, it's already given a couple suggestions on starting a lesson plan, but you can also go right up here to the Tools tab and you can see everything they have to offer. And this is one of my favorite features, that you can actually take a video or an audio and create lessons based on that as like listening exercises for your students. So let me just show you. Let's make a sample lesson plan together using Twee. So I'm going to start with creating warm-up discussion questions with a video. So let's say my student is really into pets. They love their dog. So I choose this video about pet owners teaching their animals to talk. And from there, you can choose their level. So maybe we choose this level, and then all you have to do is click do the magic. And there you go. That was like 1 second. And we have 5 warm-up discussion questions. And from there, it gives you suggestions of other things you can create using this video. So let's say I want to create a transcript. So here we just click do the magic again, and it's spitting out an entire transcript in seconds. And then from there, now that we have a text, Maybe I want to create a fill in the gap exercise for my student, or you can simplify or upgrade this text for your student to match their level. But let's go ahead and do this fill in the gap. Here the text, it was automatically input for us, but you could also put in any of your own text, or I love this feature, you can actually take an image, take a picture of materials you already use in classes. Maybe you have a teaching textbook that you love to work from. You can simply take a picture of your materials, upload them into Twee, and it will extract the text from that image, and it will create exercises for you from that text, just like with the video transcript. So if I go in here and let's say I want to take certain words that I want to create a gap with, maybe there's certain vocabulary words that I want them to know, and then we click here, do the magic, and we have our fill in the blank exercise already here for us, and we have the correct answers. So there's so many things that you could do from here. It keeps giving you suggestions of all these different things that you could create for your lesson plans. But when you are finished with your lesson plan, all you have to do is go over here to export, and you can either choose to save it as a PDF, including the answers or not, depending on maybe your version versus your students. Or you could create a Google form for them, which I love. If you teach online and you want to send them a quick quiz on something, it's perfect. So let's actually get this PDF and I'll export that. And then here is our lesson plan that Twee has created with us in just like a matter of minutes. We have our discussion questions to start. Then here's the video link, complete with a QR code. And we have the full transcript of the video here that maybe we can look at after we've watched it a couple times. And then I created a fill in the blank exercise for my student to focus on the vocabulary keywords that I want them to get out of this lesson. And that's it. That is how easy it is to create a lesson plan using Twee. I mean, it's amazing the technology we have at our fingertips these days. And I really want all of you to benefit from it, use it to your advantage so that you're spending less time coming up with these things on your own and creating lesson plans, and more time in the classroom with your students making a difference. So if you're interested in using Twee for yourself, I will link that in the description below. And they've even given me a discount for you all. You can get 20% off any of their plans using that link or my code Claire20. Let's talk about error correction, because you want to do it frequently, but in a supportive way. So the danger is that at the beginning, the student might not have a lot of confidence using English. And if you're constantly stopping and correcting their mistakes, they might lose it even more. But it is also really important that from the start, you are correcting these fundamental mistakes that they're making, because in that way you are laying the foundation for them and they will be less likely to make that same mistake moving forward. It's now part of their foundation, and that goes for any mistake moving forward. Correct it or bring it to their attention early on when you first hear the mistake, and then praise them when they self-correct or do use it correctly in the future. And this is going to be what builds their confidence. And that brings me to my next tip, which is that charisma in the classroom is key. If we're talking about helping beginners build confidence and creating a supportive environment for them, then we need to address your persona in the classroom. Your goal is to put that person at ease and create an environment where they feel safe to make mistakes and experiment using the language. Create a persona that's approachable and encouraging, even if that's not necessarily your personality. And my final tip might seem counterintuitive, but it's simply to teach less. There's so much value at the very beginning of a one-to-one lesson where you have this opportunity to connect and build a rapport with your student. You can start off the lesson to get your student talking about things that are relevant to them in that moment. Don't start the lesson and then immediately in minute 1 jump to your vocabulary or grammar lesson for that day. With one-to-one lessons, take the time to ask them how they're doing and give them the opportunity to practically use English in a everyday casual situation. And of course, we need those lessons where you teach grammar, but it's also a good idea to have lessons where you teach in phrases. So before explicitly teaching simple future tense, for example, maybe first you teach the phrase, I will tomorrow, and maybe add other phrases that are relevant to the simple future tense that they will encounter or use often in English. And then they've essentially learned the simple future tense in context through having a conversation with you. So try to teach less in this way. I hope this video is helpful to my fellow English teachers out there. Let me know your tips for teaching one-on-one and share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your strategies and tricks and experiences you've had with beginner students. And if you want to try Tweet for yourself to help you build your lesson plans, the link is in the description below. And don't forget, you get 20% off any plan with that link, or you can use my code Claire20. Thanks so much for watching. Give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed my content, and happy teaching.